Algebra is a branch of mathematics that studies the combination of elements, following certain rules. These elements can be any type of elements, abstract elements, and of course, numbers. The most common numbers that we use for counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 100, these are called positive integers. Even for counting, we will need one extra element, have it 0. We can think of this as having a straight line and having some intervals. Each of these intervals is one of our positive integers, and our extra element, 0, which we nominate the origin. We can measure pretty much anything with this sort of element, right? But how about something like temperature, where we have something like this? And this would be our 0, and temperature can be negative, right? It could be -1, -2. These are called negative integers, and we can continue in the same straight line, but in the opposite direction. As you can see, we have our positive integers, our negative integers, and our origin. We also have a set here, natural numbers, and all of these are in the realm of integers. We can think of addition as having this line and starting from the origin, moving to one side or the other. For example, if we wanted to add 3 plus 2, we could start from the origin, 1, 2, 3, and then this would be our new origin, and from this origin, go to more, right? This works as well with negative numbers. For example, 5 minus 7, and we will start from 5, adding 5 from the origin, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then from this new origin going 7 in the opposite direction, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we would have our -2. Additions in integers have certain properties or certain characteristics. One of them is they are commutative, and this means that if we have something like a plus b, this means that b plus a is equivalent. Another property is they are associative, and this means that if we have a plus b, for example, plus c, this is equivalent of saying a plus b plus c. We could use these two simple rules to prove something. For example, we could say if a plus b is 0, then b is equal to minus a, and a is equal to minus b. We could do this by adding an extra element to our equation, right? If we have a plus b is 0, we could prove this by saying if a plus b is 0 and we add a minus a on both sides of the equation, this is 0 plus b is minus a. And consequently, we could also do the same for b and arrive to the same conclusion. Another example of how these properties come into play is if we had an expression with 3 elements. For example, a plus b equals c. We could do the same approach that we used before, where we could, for example, add a minus b on both sides of the equation. Minus b plus b, I can express it this way because of the associative property, and c minus b. This would be a equals c minus b, or 0 plus a equals n. This means that a is equal to c minus b. And following the same approach, we could conclude that b is equals to c minus a. Knowing these properties, these simple properties, is enough for us to solve simple equations. For example, I don't know, let's put something like x plus 7 equals 4. We could do the same approach by subtracting 7 from both sides, minus 7, 4 minus 7, and we would get x plus 0 is equal to minus 3.
So x is minus 3. If we plug that in, we can see that we get the side result. And we can also use these properties to prove another characteristic of additions in integers, which is called the cancellation rule. And the cancellation rule states that if a plus b is a plus c, then b equals c. And we can do our same approach to prove this is correct. So if we subtract a from both sides, we would get 0 plus b equals c plus 0. And since 0 plus b is b and 0 plus c is c, we can conclude b is equals to c.